Right, so your opinion of this, you attended the World Hindu Congress, right?
The World Hindu Congress.
Yeah, okay. And we were wondering what you thought of the entire event, because there's a lot of stuff online about it being a positive event and people taking away a lot of positives from it.
Well, the mood was certainly positive. Everybody was happy to see his friends back. And then it was well done. It was very well organized. You see, in the past I remember Hindu conferences that were hopeless. No, it was really very professionally done. However, contents-wise, it still leaves something to be desired.
So, I mean, what was actually achieved from the...
Yeah, that's precisely the question. Of course, past conferences have worked at private initiatives. You see people doing their best, and that's what you do when you're in the opposition.
But the thing is, when you ask them what private initiatives they've done, they don't tell you. All they say, it's so private.
No. Here and there, something is being done. Though not perhaps most by Sangha circles.
Okay.
Like, for instance, there was a Dilip Amin with his initiative concerning interfaith marriages, which he discourages. And he boasted a number of successes.
No, but what was his successes? I don't understand.
Well, of either dissuading Hindus from marrying outside or making them more self-confident in asserting their Hindu identity, often bringing the partner over. Like particularly, this was in America, with American-born, not yet Hindus, but often they become Hindus on that occasion.
Yeah, because Hinduism is quite popular in the mainstream. It's just that Indians themselves don't know it for some odd reason.
Right. You see, apart from some really strong Christians, most Westerners are like, they don't think it's very important, and they'll convert if that's what it takes. So you see, there are some successes to be noted. But it's all small scale, it's private initiative. And so that's a point that many participants told me privately. Like, we are just doing the same as what we would have done if we were not in government. And so that government initiative is totally lacking.
So what was the overall objective? Because have they set in place any intellectual forums? But I'm talking about like an active kind of think tanks, or any institutions which can be set in place academically?
I've heard it so many times. Oh, we Hindus need a think tank.
No, I've been hearing it all my life, so I keep on thinking, where is it? Is it in outer space? Has it landed yet?
Well, again, there are some private initiatives, and you have to certainly compliment people like Rajiv Malhotra, like Hari Kiran, Vadlamani. So they are doing things, they do set up things. But compared to the magnitude of what is needed, this term in government by Narendra Modi was a missed chance. You see, they continued all the practices of Congress, more appeasement. They didn't take any initiative in a pro-Hindu sense.
But isn't this, Dr. Elst, isn't this more to do because they're coming from a kind of a RSS kind of perspective, which ideologically they don't really have a direction anyway? So maybe on any level they're always the same.
Well, there are a number of people who did realize the problem, only they too don't know what to do about it, because somehow the hardcore of the BJP, the leadership of the BJP, is totally deaf to their demands. Just now there has been an initiative for a petition by Hindus to put into practice the private bill by Satyapal Singh, which was entered before he became a minister. And so I don't know right now what his personal thoughts about it are. I've tried to contact him. But the proposal is to do away with the discriminations against Hindus that exist in the Constitution.
Yeah, but the thing is...
And so he explains also very nicely, again, well then it's just words.
Yeah, I mean the problem is the Hindus want things done easily. If you're fighting for your rights, you've got to be out there in public. Every other community's done that. The Hindus think by Twitter, Facebook and having a few chai pakora conferences, that suddenly they've made such an impact. Majority of Hindus are not even aware of it.
Right.
Chicago, for example, there's about 50,000 Hindus there. They weren't even aware there was a big, massive Hindu conference going right there in Chicago itself.
Right.
So, you know, you think just on, even on within the Hindu community, even Hindus are not aware of what's going on. So how are they going to reach out to the global audience, basically?
Yes, and if they know, then often they will be against whatever is being wished for or decided at that conference.
And don't forget the 3,000 United Hindus who were there. They got hijacked by 6 anti-Hindus suddenly taking all the publicity.
Yes, I don't know how they got in.
Yeah.
You know, the security was all up to the mark. So maybe they had enrolled before, somehow they got through that.
But you think to yourself, look how organized they were. They planned it, they had all the media attention, because as far as everybody else was concerned, this was the biggest, what do you call it, Nazi rally outside, I don't know, Hitler's last one in Berlin or something. That's the image being portrayed outside.
Yes, that's why Tulsi Gabbard also distanced herself from it. It was originally planned to
you can't blame
convener.
people, Hindus not want to stay away, because what happens then is, if your RSS went, you have to carry the burden afterwards of defending the RSS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the keynote speech was by
The chief.
Mohan Bhagwat.
That's the worst thing strategically was the worst thing they could
Right.
do.
Exactly. Now, what I did note is a certain change in the sense that they take some distance from Guru Golwalkar.
Yeah.
They had effectively done so, but they never dared to say it because there is this veneration for their heroes. So that is already a step in the right direction.
See, what it is, the problem is, the only problem that Hindus face is that RSS has to stand away from these type of issues, because if they come forward in these conferences and everything, then it becomes an RSS event. And then what happens naturally...
That's definitely what it was. It was
yeah,
an
I know,
RSS
that's what I'm
event.
saying. So what happens now? Now what's left over from that event is Hindu nationalism, right-wing, everything the Hindu causes and that have gone out the window.
Well, perhaps more important was the statements which Bhagwat has made afterwards. But these were not very encouraging.
Wasn't there something about lions?
Like saying that there should be no Hindu Rashtra without Muslims.
Okay.
Well, you know, Muslims are, you know, they can be there as far as I'm concerned. They're welcome. But nevertheless, to say that they are definitional to a Hindu Rashtra, that's absurd.
So, the thing is, then overall, the impact wasn't really what they're promoting as, because most Hindus are not even really aware there was a conference.
Well,
anyway.
the impact you should see in the long term. Maybe they are going to do something, but I don't expect so, given that the conference 4 years ago
2014
did not lead to anything
they actually
really.
talked the same things then.
At that time, the mood was very upbeat, not just for social reasons, but for political reasons, because everybody thought, now with Modi, we are effectively starting a Hindu Rashtra. And that didn't happen.
But what do you think, what is the reason why these Hindus can't get their act together? What do you think is the real problem?
Well, one thing is their particular group interests or family interests.
Yeah.
Even among Hindu activists, I know that there is a lot of communal feeling, not in the sense of being anti-Muslim, anti-Christian, but in the sense of being first Sikh and then the rest, first Yadav and then the rest, and so on, or first, some particular Sampradaya, first Swami Narayan and then the rest. So in terms of identity, most Hindus feel less Hindu and first their own community.
I don't know, because that is true, but I personally can say this, that if you come out and stand strong as a Hindu and you're doing some action, it doesn't matter which sect or which grouping they're from, they're going to join you. I think the problem is, it's a psychological problem.
Right. There's always talk about, we Hindus need unity and we are so miserable because we have no unity. Now, unity is automatically created once there is an issue that everybody feels strong about.
Yeah, of course.
In my country, when they were doing good in the football tournament, then suddenly everybody became Belgian nationalists.
Yeah, because unity comes through action. They don't seem to understand that you go out there and you start doing action, people will eventually unite with you. The problem with the Hindu lobby, or that part of it, they got this thing, let's get unity first, this utopia, and then suddenly magically everything's going to come together. It doesn't work like that.
No.
It's never happened in Indian history when warriors like Shivaji and that started out. They didn't go first, oh look, we need unity. He went and started fighting.
Exactly.
And everybody joined him.
Yes.
Yeah. Swami Vivekananda went by himself all the way to Chicago. He made an impact, just one man, right? Prabhupada went by himself. We can see his impact all across the world.
Well, there was a speech by Venkaya Naidu, the Vice President, mainly about Swami Vivekananda's speech. And there I did notice, it's a long time ago that I read Vivekananda himself, so I had forgotten or not realized. But you see, some of the things that we now associate with the weaker points of Mahatma Gandhi actually also go back to that speech by Vivekananda.
Yeah.
Because it was not well prepared, and so there were very strong points in it, giving Hindus pride. But then there were also weak points, like saying all religions are equally true. That has become a creed among the Hindus, even and especially among the RSS. So, but that's okay. I mean, at this distance in time, we should look at it critically, except that the RSS isn't doing that. They're still glorifying it and taking it literally and taking everything from it, including all religions are equally true.
But the thing is, you know, RSS, we know what RSS is like. Sitaram Gold kind of has made it very clear. But isn't it time that Hindus should not rely on the RSS and start doing things themselves? Which there are a few. And have you noticed the ones who do it by themselves are actually more successful?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that does prove that when you do action, even by yourself, I mean, Vivekananda, Swami Prabhupada, these are good examples of people who went on their own all the way to America at the most hostile times, and they made an impact, right? Because of action. So, you know, action is probably the way forward.
Well, here we are in agreement. Thank you.
That's it. Okay, thank you.